The stage is set. The Royal Rumble is on. The traveling show of WWE made a stop at Chase Field this afternoon, bringing superstars to the ring as they wrestle for a spot in WrestleMania. Fans gathered by the thousands at the convention center to get a glimpse of their favorite athletes. WWE superstars were on hand to sign autographs and take pictures. Today's slate of wrestlers included the Riot Squad, Mandy Rose, and Lucha House Party. And in the spirit of WWE, the community coming together today to help out a quadruple amputee hit-and-run victim. This was the scene at the Duce restaurant and bar. More than a dozen professional wrestlers from across the U.S. volunteered to be part of the show. Crowds responded. It was all for Chris Garland, a single father and dedicated Fry's grocery store employee. Chris was on his way home from work back in June when he was run over. Doctors saved his life, but had to amputate his hand, arm, and both feet. He's now in rehab. His family grateful for the outpouring of support.
Praise God. I thank God that people have a heart to understand that when innocent people get hurt, how the country can come together and help one another.
No word on how much they raised. One anonymous donor, though, alone put down $800. The money will go to help pay for Chris's medical bills.